Hashtag in before Kiznaiver gets called the new savior of anime. Except I'm not in before because I'm 3 weeks late! Ugh. In what I would assume to be an attempt to not be continually tied down to the legacy of the old heroes of Gainax, Studio Trigger this season came out with Kiznaiver. It's an anime original story that, while it keeps the same upbeat adrenaline that the studio and its animators are known for, it also slaps down a limiter on it to keep the insane, crazy bullshit to a minimum, or at least lower than you would expect. Though if you are disappointed by this fact, don't worry too much, because almost to counteract that kind of reaction, Trigger is also doing Luluco this season, so you can get your insanity fix. Have fun with that. So, what do we got? Well, our characters are an emotionless, white-haired, pain-immune protagonist. There's the chick that likes him, the tough guy, the insecure playboy, the serious, stoic snob type, that one crazy chick for the Harumi fanboys, and the narcissist who is surprisingly not voiced by Mamoru Miyano. They all get kidnapped by another crazy chick with a superiority complex and are implanted with a device in their arms that allows them to share each other's pain. From slaps to free falls. What we've been given so far is a character-based narrative a la Persona, but without any action or driving hero-based plot, at least so far. So, if you are expecting a balls-to-the-wall, kinda let's go save the world by throwing galaxies around, prepare to be disappointed. That said, if you can get into the right mindset with it and sit down expecting a more intense kind of slice of life show, then this might be something for you, at least assuming that the plot gets its shit together. I don't know where the show is trying to go. The premise is interesting enough, but I'm not sure exactly what they are trying to do with it. It's almost like the execution of the whole thing is just falling flat on its ass, but it's doing so in a way that's not entirely obvious. Like, apparently, the reason why these kids were implanted with this pain-sharing system is as a test to potentially bring about, one day, the cliche idea of world peace. Because why would you instigate conflict if you can feel the pain of your enemies? It has this kind of naively optimistic mindset to it that, for me, as a more realistically minded person, I get slightly frustrated by. And that's kind of it. The show has been spending so much time on how the characters act, interact, and react to both each other and the bullshit trials that their reigning overlord assigns to them that the reasoning of why this is all happening gets rather blurred. I'd like to say that the characters make up for the poor plot, but as of yet, most of them are flat two-dimensional cutouts with maybe 2 base character traits that define them, and that's about it. The show even has an entire early plot revolving around each character trying to admit their faults to one another, which I don't think worked out as well as they were hoping. In fact, I think it just made the fact that these characters are missing more complex traits much more obvious. What I'd like to see, at the very least, is a more relatable character. Katsuhara is our main character, but he doesn't really have any defining trait to him that makes him likable. If he weren't the main character, we probably wouldn't even care about him at all, to be honest. He's an emotionless washboard that feels no pain, like an anime version of Thomas Covenant, and if you get that reference without having to resort to Google, then bravo, you are old. So am I, so it's all good. Now, as far as where the show is going, or at least where I'd like to see it go, allow me to bring up Persona again, because I feel like that might be a good place to get to eventually. Persona likes to deal a lot with character insecurities and acceptance, which, if Kiznaiver is trying to emulate that, then the series might end up being notable by the end of it. But at this moment, what we have is a gorgeous series that looks like Gainax and Shaft had a freaky one-night stand in a loved hotel shaped like Hello Kitty or something. It's bland and uninteresting, but peppered with entertaining situations and reactions that are the closest thing this series has to a selling point. Overall, it looks appealing from the outset, but it's like having a giant bag of chips for yourself. Like, you love the first couple of them because of their zingy taste, but eventually you get bored of them before actually finishing the bag. The series does have a good opening, though, that's pretty addictive, and is also the first time that I've heard anything from Boom Boom Satellite since Appleseed. And that's something I didn't think I'd be referencing anytime soon. Ultimately, though, should you watch it? Yeah, well, I'm not entirely optimistic on where the show may or may not be headed. A small part of me is hopeful that at the very least the series can be an entertaining romp for at least a little while. Check it out if you have the time, but feel free to stop it if it just turns out to not be your thing. So what did you guys think? Let me know down in the whatchamajig. And for those of you that are further along in the show than I am, because I only do these reactions based on the first 3 episodes, no spoilers, please. And if this video has piqued your interest, then at present, Kiznaiver is available in North America on Crunchyroll, with new episodes being subscriber only, at least for the first week, and then everything goes free to watch. Unless you live in Canada. In which case, there's a link down in the description, crunchyroll.com/glassreflection, where you can try out a free trial of their premium services and all the anime awesomeness that it contains. Thank you for joining me on this first reaction, and if you like this sort of thing, please hit the like button to let me know. And if you have a suggestion for what you think I should be talking about next from this season, let me know down in the comments, though chances are I'm already doing it. And until next time, ladies, gentlemen, and others, stay frosty.